check things out. Let's see. Yeah, I dig this tune right here.
Oh yeah. My father said
Red sky. You know how we do. Yeah. One line from the west side. Throughout the galaxy. Universal sisters and brothers. What up, SU? Let's go to work. Yo. Yo. It's like that, you know. It's like that. It's like one step at a time, y'all. And all we get down. It's like that, yo. Yeah, Ashtar, I'm falling like dominoes. Straight up out of heaven, yo, me on the roll and got to go. Popping right, like a flea for she. Flip the scripts and toss an inspiration, also easy. Yeah, so you see me shining for ascension, right? Taking flight, right? We gon' give me back my body red, homie. Oh yeah, beach cruisers sitting fat, rocking that star fleet crash, know we on the map. Yeah, we on the map. Yo, Joe, we on the map. Yeah, Joe, on the west side, looking to the east, praying towards the sunrise. While you know it's me, rocking like it ain't nothing but a pipe be popping out, cause it's something big. Freedom ringing on the planet Earth, and I plan to have me a couple kids. Joe, get it how I live it, and I know when I'ma get it steady chillin' like a villain this day. Never will I go astray. Yeah, I got time cause we be poppin' fat. Instead of steppin' with your mind, you black. You don't hear me created that. And all sorts of creative spaz. Who's like what you talking about? Fall back, stay unified. Spell universe, what are you and I? This verse came out the sky. Yeah, proofread with my third eye. Proofread with my third eye. Came down for my crown meal and galactic Gemini. You sick dog, that ain't true. Damn it, man, that's yellow fruit. We could've pounded a microphone for the landlord and keep it cool. You, hey yo, back up on my bridge sheet. Coming out of Wall Street, talking to the home team about the mission. Hey, listen, move throughout the earth grid and maintain your focus. Relaxing the load is like that. Yeah, the lights back in up, it's like that. The lights back in up, it's like that, yo. The lights back in up, it's like that. Salute the fleet, dog. It's like that, it's like that, yo. The lights back in up, it's like that, yeah. It's like that, yo. It's like that. Salute the fleet, yo. Yo, yeah. Shoot that, yo. Yo.
There you go, man. Roll the show in, brother.
Absolutely. Rock and roll. Yo, once again, thank you so very much for you all being here at our Let's Build today. Starting a little late today. However, of course, as always, better late than never. We are here. And of course, we are blessed. A great honor indeed to be amongst you. Thank you all for being here. And of course, you can invest your energy and your time and attention anywhere. And it is a great honor, of course, that you are here and present more and more in this now moment for the new earth. Thank you, Todd and Soulogy Studios, for continuing to be present and serve, doing a lot of our engineering and coordination to allow for this platform of communication and connection to take place in this now moment. Thanks once again, Mel, for orchestrating a lot of the back end administrative aspects of what it is that we do here and getting our playlist together and yeah, keeping us coordinated. So We just finished a meeting. Of course, me and the brothers and sisters are working on a couple hands-on events here in our area where we are live here in Wiesbaden, Germany, about 20 minutes north or southeast or southwest of Frankfurt, Germany, of course. And yes, of course, today our talk is on vulnerability. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, prior to our connection and who we are, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light, who I am as your commander, Ashtar. Of course, 20% of the nature of our communications comes directly through this physical vehicle. However, this is but 20%. The other 80 remains within the heart space, where we share a connection that is not based on student-teacher relationships, but that which we already know within ourselves. This disclaimer statement is basically about us recognizing that that which is being spoken here is known intuitively. However, of course, the services come about through our ability to connect and express on the level of eloquence in the human language through this platform. So we basically are able to recognize some of the divine truths within ourselves. And of course, today we talk about vulnerability. However, prior to our talk today, what we're going to do, of course, is exercise that we always do. And of course, this exercise is about releasing all the energy that has come heretofore so we can be more present in this now moment and connecting through the heart space via the heart space, where the exercise is a 60-second meditation where we're going to calm ourselves, relax our bodies, and allow that which is to be, to clear all the energy so we are present and we share a beautiful connection where the intuitive communications that are taking place inside of you are more potent. So once again, this is our exercise, 60-second meditation. Ladies and gentlemen, allow all to be. Calm the body and relax yourselves so we may connect. Of course, the intention is gratitude and a connection with our own heart space. So 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Allow yourself to gently sense your extremities, your toes and your fingers, and to wiggle them. Gently allow your lungs to return to their normal intake capacity. Gently open your eyes. Turn into a sense of presence. And of course, it is a great honor to be alive, to breathe, to exist, to be awakened, and to heal. As we sense ourselves, as we sense more of ourselves, of course, the sense allows us to expand and recognize deeper aspects of ourselves, whereas this allows us to connect with the nature of the hologram that is what we see all around us. And realization of this, of course, is a great honor and has taken much Very simple awareness. However, the priceless nature of this awareness is honored and recognized with our spiritual maturity. I make it a habit to thank you, to show gratitude. Very repetitive are the words thank you here. And the word honor. And recognizing the blessing of being here on earth at present. It's no small feat, no minor blessing to be alive here on earth and being the forerunners of something so spectacular that will be recognized not only in the Akashic records of this planet, but amongst many throughout this sector of space and that of this universe. So once again, thank you for being here and thank you for healing. This is the hardest work taking place on planet Earth right now. And this is where our subject today remains a cornerstone and pillar of this healing process that we are undertaking, that we've decided to undertake prior to our incarnation in the human body vehicle. Vulnerability is to be exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. In traditional English context, this is the definition of vulnerability. And if you look at some synonyms, of course, you're dealing with accessibility, defenselessness, being exposed, being ready, liable, sensitive, susceptible, wide open, naked. Sometimes people will say, oh, why you put me on the spot? And one of the more distorted synonyms for the word vulnerability is weak. Of course, we're going to address that misconception today. Antonyms will be guarded or protected or safe and secure. Strong, which of course is distorted as well. Unsusceptible or closed. You can see how the label of strong as an antonym versus vulnerability and other terms may bring up a sense of distortion and recognizing the nature of such a word in its contextual form amongst awakening souls. So what are we doing? Vulnerability. What are we doing with it? Or what are we doing against it? We're attempting to protect ourselves from judgment, ridicule, blame, in essence, fear. And a lot of times we feel this is responsible. To protect ourselves, right? I have to state, I just came from a meeting. Usually I'm wearing a whole nother set of attire that's much more comfortable, but I just came in the house. So I'm dealing with this goofy hat and it is what it is. I'm being vulnerable right now. So, and how do we attempt to protect ourselves from vulnerability? Case example, intellectualizing, perfectionism, and sometimes just staying busy, right? In essence, we are trying to protect what? We're trying to protect our feelings. We're trying to protect our heart. We don't want to get hurt. So we're protecting ourselves, alleviating or alleviating ourselves of being vulnerable. because we're attempting to protect our feelings. We're attempting to protect our heart. And this protection comes in the form of this armor that this material is made up of attempting to be perfect and attempting to be more clever than life, having explanations for everything. Oh, this is like this because such and such and such. We come with some type of logical explanation for the way things are as a justification versus being open. And why are not we're not a why do we resist being open? Because there's a risk there. The risk is we want to be loved. We want to belong. We want to be respected and accepted by others, but by reflections. We want to feel this love, this sense of acceptance, the judgment labels of rejection. It's a big risk emotionally for many of us working on healing, because a lot of what we deal with is coming from a space that is outside of the norm when it comes to the programming of the lower vibrational frequencies here that are so frequent amongst the 7 billion humans, where most of them are choosing to remain where they are. We want to feel worthy. And worthy is associated with guilt. Because guilt is, by feeling, the frequency of guilt is the closest polar opposite to the feeling of love. And of course, that guilt is where we assume or we attempt to project the feeling of a person not being worthy of our love. And of course, the absence of feeling accepted, feeling that we belong, feeling that we're not being judged. Of course, the absence of that, it caters to suffering energetically. Because when we feel rejected, feel outside of the love that is, it's very painful. So we're here to talk about that today. And here's the thing that it's really hard to accept such a statement. However, it is absolutely true and in alignment with our message today. Our love is as strong as our willingness to feel. And this often means being hurt. To feel, we must be open. And when we're open to everything. Everything. Once again, our ability to feel love and to be loved and to love others is in our openness and willingness to feel. And based on the feelings that we've experienced, that we choose to embrace as far as our experience is concerned, this can be rough because, of course, with the mind identity, there's a lot of feelings associated with the ability to feel, and a lot of times they aren't necessarily nice. However, with that being said, vulnerability is probably our greatest measure of courage. It's like our greatest measure. Once again, uncertainty, risk, emotional exposure, to be exposed, to open oneself up, or as the other synonym meant, to be naked, to be in the spot or on the spot, put on the spot, just to be open. It takes a lot of courage. It's a willingness to show up, to be seen, to show up and be seen with no guarantees, just to show up and be there with your heart open, knowing that you are experiencing your own creation as the creator. This is a big deal. And here's the paradox. The paradox within the realms of separation goes like this. When we speak of vulnerability personally within the realm of separation, we speak of there's courage in you, but there is weakness in me. When we speak of vulnerability, when I say, oh, I'm being vulnerable right now, there's an assumption that the person or people that we're interacting with, they have courage, and I'm exhibiting a weakness based on the illusion of separation, of course. However, once again, this is an attribute or frequency of being which brings about a sense of personal authenticity, because once again, we're here and we're together. There is work to do. There is a life to live. And within this life of experience, we have things that we are to experience. And of course, with these experiences, there are risks, and things aren't necessarily always going to go the way we want them to go. So we all have to show up. Sometimes we all hit our head every now and then. And when we recognize this, we embrace a sense of authenticity within ourselves, and we recognize our kinship as beings, as aspects, however, expressions of the creator, of the one. This is a commonality that we have. And of course, we have this to share as comrades, as reflections, as expressions of the same, the family, the one, here in gratitude amongst our experience. And of course, the first thing we want when we show up for people to recognize is that we're courageous. And ironically, the last thing we want people to see in us a lot of times, for most people, is vulnerability. Of course, those working with the E that want others to see that we can be hurt. We want to show courage and strength. For the most part, I'm generalizing. However, amongst the human experience, this is a strong assumption. However, once again, the point being, courage and vulnerability are one and the same, within the same fabric of existence. Here's the cool thing about language and how infinite intelligence works. Infinite intelligence works. It's very subtle and encoded within the language and the words that we use often are codes, words and alphabet, numbers. They didn't just come out of the sky without any preconceived sense of intelligence of creation as far as the information at hand being intuitively driven. When I say intuitively driven, I speak on those who have brought forth these instruments of exchange here on this plane of existence. Of course, all information, including our number system and the way in which we speak, not necessarily on just this planet, but also amongst the many languages of this planet and others alike. There is a code, there is an intelligence to all that is being expressed. Courage. It comes from the Latin word cor. And the Latin word cor, ironically, in Latin, that means heart. And translated in the actual language itself, it's one's ability to speak and act from one's heart. This is the word courage. A commonality in people that have courage is their ability to be okay with being imperfect as the creator, as manifestations of the creator, of the one. We are manifestations of perfect imperfection. Perfect imperfection. We're perfect, however, the imperfections are encoded within the experience itself. This is the foundation of the experience, and having a deep sense of purpose and underlying sense of unfoldment within the experience itself. Compassion is the ability to be gentle. When it comes to people with courage, the ability to be compassionate and gentle, or to be gentle with oneself first, is an aspect of the courageous lifestyle, the courageous character. The ability to connect with others is another aspect of a courageous individual, of honorable vulnerability is the ability to connect with others based on their authenticity. Their authenticity comes from their ability to express themselves, to be okay with who they are, to embrace their imperfections, to have the compassion to allow themselves to be as they are, who they are, and say what they want to say, do the things that they truly desire from the heart space. These are attributes of the courageous person. And the interesting aspect of this is that when we really recognize it, when we're honest with ourselves, think about it. It's our imperfections that highlight our unique harmonic essence, our harmonic essence as individuals. In essence, this means our imperfections is what makes us beautiful here within the experience. It highlights and broadens, expands upon the unique nature of who we are as unique expressions of the creator, as a reflection of the vast creativity that we possess, who we are, and creating all these various personalities, these facial expressions, the sound, the touch, the tone, the pigment, all expressions of this rainbow of divine creativity. In every nook and cranny of one's being, every quirk within one's character is an expression of this purity, as Curry Chu said, this innocence, this love and strength and spirit. Yes, it's a cornerstone of courage, vulnerability. It is the willingness to say, I love you first, with no guarantee. With no guarantee, just to say, I love you. I'm not scared if it's reciprocal. I'm not frightened. I'm expressing to you how I feel. This is who I am, my authentic self. It is up to you how you receive the purity of the love that I express here in this vehicle. Vulnerability is in the ability to invest energy in a relationship unconditionally. It's fear and, well, I don't know if it's going to work out, and we're different, and we just have different personalities, and que sera, sera. I mean, this is a this is to put one on the spot. To open your heart, to be willing to love more than you are willing to fear. We ground ourselves through exploring our feelings with courage and curiosity. Sometimes we're put in situations where we are on the spot, and a change might take place. Things often don't work out as logically planned or written on paper, and we have to make split decisions. And a lot of times these split decisions are not necessarily just black and white. They're emotional decisions, conscious decisions that are truly complex if analyzed. However, we have the heart, which is infinitely intelligent, which knows that everything is being presented is of our own creation. And of course, all that is necessary is always with us at the time that is necessary for us to execute or access such resources. And it's all here in the heart space. As leaders, you render it safe for others to unburden themselves of worrying about or focusing on attempting to appear perfect when you take the risk of allowing yours to hang out. When you allow your heart to hang out, when you allow your vulnerability, when you just let it hang out and do you as a leader, you render others the same ability to do so. And this is a risk that you take in being of service to life itself. It's a gift in the form of a risk taken for someone else. I risk being accepted by the cliques and people that are close to me and those who are around me by being myself, by expressing that which is authentic within me. I risk all of these things on a daily basis. We spend a lot of time attempting to hide our weaknesses, not knowing that these are the imperfections which not only highlight our individual beauty, however, are also the same things, the same essence, the same frequency that allows for true love to arise. You step back and just consider that for a moment. Your imperfections are not only representative of your individual beauty as an individual expression of the creator, but of course, through this same authenticity, you allow for true love to arise within yourself. Once again, self-love is the foundation of all love. And those who connect with you, who resonate with you. A true, authentic love is genuine. It doesn't have a foundation on a person or a character or a caricature that you were attempting to present to the world for reputation or based on a lack of individual self-esteem. This is who you are. And when you present who you are, quirks and all, you allow for true love to manifest itself in your reality. I'll steer away from the subject for a second because this is important, very important, because there's a lot of us who speak of soulmates and twin flames. And we spend quite a bit of time attempting to seek out these individuals as if there is this perfect someone outside of ourselves that is to make us complete, if you will. This reality exists. This is not about if it exists or not. What the point is that the point is this. It is your unconditional love for yourself and allowing all your stuff to hang out and loving it, regardless of how you may judge it or how much you may judge it. This is the frequency that creates such a reality. This is the foundation of such a reality, that unconditional love for oneself, and it's found within. And this is a constant practice. This is a constant activity that takes place with your grounding, with your healing. Constant. Vulnerability is the cornerstone of confidence. Speak of confidence a lot. Courage and confidence are synonymous. We talk about the heart, talk about speaking the truth, talk about being ourselves, 100% ourselves. It's all there. The ability to embrace our brothers and sisters, especially in hard times, especially during hard times. Sometimes someone close to us may experience physical death. This is an example. We're vulnerable, or vulnerability is in having to call the family and express to them the nature of what's transpired. The analytical mind will attempt to figure out, okay, so And a lot of times when something like that, of that nature happens, the number one question is, I mean, what do I say? What do I say to the person on the other line I have to break this kind of news to? And once again, this is a very vulnerable spot. But it's not necessarily about what you say. It's about what you do and how you do it. Courage is in the ability to show up. I'm going to call. I may not necessarily intellectually know what to say when I'm on the call, but I'm going to show up, and it's painful. It's painful, but I've showed up. I've shown up. And if I have to walk through the pain with you, I'm going to be here. However, the most important thing is that I show up. Beyond what to say, it's just being able to show up and let it all hang out. The precipice of courage, the ability to express the essence at one's core. And of course, in the ability to do that, we allow others the chance to recognize, through opening our hearts, we give others the ability to see how truly connected we are. To see that beyond all of the physical aspects and differences within the physical illusion, how truly we are the same. When we open our hearts, we allow others to see this truly. And we're getting close, so give us a second. I'll quote Maya Angelou here. I don't really do a whole lot of quotes, but I like what she said. And this is about vulnerability. When you see me coming, it ought to make you proud. Me, not from a place of ego, not from a place of arrogance, but from to be alive, to be here, to be oneself, authentically. For me to have the ability to fill myself up with so much life, so much love, it ought to make every reflection proud. Because I'm being myself. And those around me can feel it. Once again, not from a place of ego or arrogance, just from a place of gratitude, me being me. And walking the earth, shining a light that's pure. It's not filtered, it's not fake, it's not for the entertainment of others or for any other purpose outside of me sharing the love that we all are here to share. In stillness, we recognize the essence of our nature. We recognize the true essence of our nature. And this is by default who we are. Of course, this is the foundation of our expression as the creator, us expressing who we are as the creator and just being still and embracing that silence. This is neutral for us. This is our core. As we embrace that, of course, we are truly ourselves. So, I feel like this would be a great time to take a break. I don't have a timer here. Usually I have a timer somewhere, but just take a break here, just take a breather and play a song. Let me see. I do have the playlist. Let's see. Yeah, let's play Mood, Todd. That seems cool. If you don't mind.
I got you, bro.
Love.
Sky. On the ground, huh? Yeah. Stars in the deepest of dark. Yo, stargazing while riding the ark. Yeah. Through the storm, you know. Come on, son. Yeah. Hashtag. Yo, it was all so simple, you know was. The frequent changes that coming and close, chapters and sagas that go on like the spin of a globe. Blessings that ever bestow the mark of an ever plateau. A new level. Yeah, standing on top of the roof, welcoming light like rooster, grateful for life so super, wanting to be wetting the tulips, dramatization, patiently checking out nature's daily precious manifestations. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sing that thing, baby. Jump, hey. Sky, it's just a train. We on the ground, yeah. We out here. Hey, let's go. Yo, stars in the deepest of dark, stargazing while riding the arm, twisting and bouncing with waves, chill with counting the days, trusting the path you face. Just trust me, you know what I'm saying? An illusion we made, however, cherish the time, space. Sat by the fireplace and cuddle with Babe G. And when I'm by myself, embrace the essence that made me. Forrest knew the love inside that understood Jenny. Then I got plenty to go around loving every day in my glory. Busting out the deepest of depths, so wreck the obelisk. Mobbing so angelic, the posse, my wings is obvious. De facto governments get bit hard by the Soviets. Them gold teeth, like press stick, like ultra power grip. It's like a true poet, the deep. Go this here document, we're locking it down, galactic petty, we out of here. Yeah, hey. Good life. So open your heart up. It's heaven on earth. Road it is. Yeah. Once again, Commander Ashtar. Galactic crew, 144,000. 6 milli light workers in the goals. $2,050,000 starships. We here in this dimension directly from heaven. You don't know already. Beyond all belief systems, we kicking it. When you calm, that you know.
Love, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining us once again here at the Let's Build. Thanks, Todd, for holding us down with the engineering. Mel, of course, is on the boards and holding us down with the playlist. Thank you so very much, all of you, for being here. A beautiful Thursday night here in Central Europe. Of course, a little earlier there in America and across the board here all over the globe. We're doing the work, the real work of healing, continuing to unfold that which is the new earth in a great way. So thank you so very much for everybody being here. Of course, the God Amon Ra jumping in for a sec. Oh, okay. She in the house.
Peace, Todd.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, you need to get up there and start talking, bro.
Yeah, I just had a let's build with my mother, so.
Uh-oh. All right. Good to see you.
Well, absolutely. So, yeah, of course, our first segment is more of a seminar portion. This aspect or segment of our show usually includes a discussion amongst ourselves here at the Ra. Unfortunately, we don't have as many people as here that we usually do, but of course, Amon is here, myself is here, and of course, T is here. Yo, T, do you want to punch in someone?
Yeah, man. Oh, you want me to plug somebody in or me plug in?
It's on you. It's on you. We don't have to, but it's on you. This is our discussion portion. So
yeah,
leaving it open.
Yeah, I think it's a great subject. I just went through the power of vulnerability. Went through a couple of weeks. Had a divine union, and that's a vulnerable thing. Did our first big event. That's a vulnerable thing. So we came out of it and had a progression of our Soul Speaks 5D shows and a few radio shows, and the heart was expanding and got down to a point where there was a lot of expansion. Had this situation where I was on my honeymoon. This is 5D, so it all changes now, right? And I thought I'd done all my deep shadow work, inner work, and so I get into this line of thinking, and I realize that I got something deep that I didn't even know about. So Morgan, in her divine wisdom, walked me through it a little bit, had a quick scenario. My inner child came out, and he was pretty upset, And I was like, whoa, what is this? So I get on my knees. I got my hands clasped up here, and I'm praying to the you, me, we, and it, and I'm testifying, and I'm saying, let's remove this thing. The stories don't matter. And so we start talking to the inner child, start talking to myself, my inner child, and he says, I'm angry. You let me get hurt in this instance. I know you don't remember, but and I said, hey man, let's clear this thing. And so we started talking, and at some point, Yeshua and Mary entered the picture, Magdalene. And they walked up to the child, and they grabbed his hand, and they hugged him, and they start walking away. And Morgan says, what are you seeing? And I said, well, this is what I'm seeing. But inside of me, I felt like it wasn't cool. It wasn't copacetic yet. So she says, well, ask him. So I said, hey, are you all right? He said, no, I'm angry at him and I'm angry at her too. So I started crying, man. I was already crying. I was just like going through Kleenex like a hot knife through butter. And so I said to myself, to him, to that triad of these essences that are me, I said, what's up? And in that moment, I realized I was Magdalene and I was Yeshua. And I turned the boy around, who's me, and I brought him into my heart space. And that was a powerful, powerful thing, man. I was staggered for about 24 hours, I was, because it takes a while for the brain to catch up. Well, over the next 4 or 5 days, I had every day one magnificent thing happen after another. And it culminated with some work I did. I had a divine episode at 4:20 in the morning. Go figure, Amon Ra. 4:20, they call me out of bed. I go downstairs 3 days after this happened. I'm looking out over the lake at my friend's house, and I see this golden disc come out of the water in just a split second. And it wasn't mind's eye. It was a solid matter. And I said, oh, I know that means something good. And then I went on through a few other things that happened. As the universe communicates to us, we communicate to ourselves. And I was very, very understood that I had reached a point where every single soul I loved, and I had in this moment no judgment, no nothing. And I felt this golden disc was an incredible symbol. So I'm feeling pretty good. I walk inside. I had done a really cool video with Amanda Lawrence over at the tour in Glastonbury. On New Moon, we buried some rose heart quartz there in her ceremony, and then also with people that were tuned in. It was very powerful. There was a man there named Des Greensoul that was with her, who she'd met the day before, who gave her the rose heart quartz that she buried at the tour. We connected. We didn't say much on the show, but this is the next morning now, and I just come out of this integration of a physical and etherical dimensional experience, and getting these revelations and epiphanies and so on, embodying what we all work for. And I turn on the Facebook on my laptop, and I see this notification, friend request from Des Greensoul. So I flip it on, check his page out. He's the guy from the show. I confirm the request, and I look at this video all of a sudden that he's doing for 14 minutes, and I click it, and he starts out by talking about me, talking about what I'm doing. I don't even know this guy. And he goes into this whole thing about Todd and Morgan, and they've been paying the price, and he's giving me props, and he's saying, can you help them? Can everybody send $1? These guys are, they ain't got a pot to piss in, whatever. And I just started crying, man. I'm crying for 14 straight minutes watching this thing. I'm being vulnerable by myself, which is a lot easier, right? So the story ends with I have a pre-scheduled show, Soul Speaks 5D, with an incredible divine goddess soul by the name of Judith Cassell from South Africa, who's very well respected to a great degree in these circles that we run in. I had never met her. It's like talking to Glinda, the Good Witch of the North. She's from South Africa. She's of German descent. She has this accent. She's been homeless. She's a librarian. She's done all these things. She's done grid work. She's a soldier, And so I'm thinking to myself, how in the heck am I going to do this show? I mean, my eyes are all bloodshot. I'm all puffy. My nose is running. I got about 3 minutes. I get on. She was already on the screen, and I didn't know it. I'm buttoning my shirt up, trying to get myself together. And I sit down, and she's looking at me. And I just said, listen, I just had this experience, and I don't know what's going to happen. And I just started crying, telling her about it. So we flipped the thing on, and we start the show, and she comes out with a tremendous amount of wisdom, a very comprehensive, like like an encyclopedia on many different subjects. Very humble, just a pure white, love and light soul. I mean, just as pure as you can get. A tremendous show. 150, 200 people watching the show. And in the entire show, I related a little bit of my story at the first of the show and bared my vulnerability. And then during the show, as she was giving us all epiphanies and revelations, I just kept crying. I went through this entire box of Kleenexes on the show, on camera, and never thought twice about it because my heart was wide open. And so the story ends that from that moment, from that day, in our little universe over here, Morgan and I, Soulogy, and what we've all worked hard for in this energy, is we've received over 100 contributions of support. Most of them very small. The vast high percentage, 97th, 98th percentile, all, I don't say small to take anything away from it, but $7.77, $11.11, $5, $3.33. I mean, this all just came in, and we continue to move forward and pay it forward. Invest in people, and as our intuition told us to, and this is what we understand. But my point is that all of this superabundance is directly proportionate to your ability to have the courage to be vulnerable, raw, real, genuine. That is our innocence. That is what we are. We are pure love. And I'm seeing this now. I've known you for a long time, and I put a lot out there, almost 500 shows now, 3,000 videos. And I'm telling you, over the last 10 days, it's not just me, because as goes the individual, so goes the collective. But this is the recipe. We didn't come here for pain and suffering. We came here for this coronation, this benediction, this walk of fame. And we got the whole universe behind us. And all we got to do is be ourselves. And there's a direct reciprocation from the universal that comes in superabundance, that's directly related to the expanse of your heart, which is vulnerability. And you explained that so well at the top of the show. So thank you, both of you, for your service, and all the people at Universal Brothers and Sisters, Melissa and everybody, for putting it out there. And thank you for allowing me to share this. And thank you, everybody, for holding space for me.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Once again, all of us are walking this path and doing the best that we can. Everybody always is doing the best that we can. And once again, great strength and wisdom in what you shared with us today. And of course, still here serving. A lot of times I've had quite a bit to deal with and not even deal with, it's my creation on my own level. And of course, everybody in their own individual reality is vulnerable to something, some aspect of life itself. It could be health, it could be financials, it could be emotions. It's just, once again, all of us are dealing with that, the catalyst in which we created for ourselves to heal and to be vulnerable and to open up and allow things to happen and allow it to hang out beyond our own individual attempts to, maintain this, prideful projection on camera or wherever, in person or amongst those around you within your social circles or whatever. We attempt to carry this armor to show the world that we are strong. However, of course, our strength is in our ability to embrace how we feel. To truly feel takes true courage. And sometimes the feelings can be truly, truly in depth. But of course, we know how polarity works. The means is equal. And of course, the other end of the spectrum of the feelings that we may feel when it comes to loneliness or sadness or depression or lack and limitation and all the things that come with the distortion, there is a polar opposite to that is transmuted via the magic of vulnerability and being open. It's transmuted directly based on our strength and our ability to stay calm and to be here and to allow and have the courage to accept the life that we've created for ourselves, knowing that we are not victims in any way, shape, or form. However, it is necessary to feel and embrace it all. This is how love works. You must feel, you must be open to it. And the potency of the love that we feel is equal to the potency of all of the distortions of the pure love that come through. They're all relevant, and therefore they're there for us to experience. And a vulnerable experience, of course, within the full moon that we've just experienced. I want to say I took a step back, but of course I have the sense of compassion to accept myself and my experience for what it is. I've been off of marijuana for such a long time. It's been a while. Well, put it this way: I think I started smoking in 2008 when I was going through my divorce with my wife. And I never smoked up to that point. I mean, as a kid, my mother used to smoke weed, and that was such a rough time and such a crazy, wild, emotional experience for me that I, of course, I'm not necessarily a flip out kind of dude, but I just, needed a sedative to calm. And for the most part, it seemed like, the most wholesome thing for me to do at the point. So I did it, and I ended up doing it every day for about 7 years, which was fun. For the most part, I was basically just making music and enjoying the writing music and listen to the music and, hang out in the trees and, be somewhat of a hood hippie. And that was cool for me. However, I haven't experienced that sense of emotion for a very long time. I smoked in the last couple of days. Yeah, I smoked.
I ain't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, once again,
that'll be three Hail Marys and 4 Our Fathers.
There we go.
While he's smoking, right?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't burn it all. I'll take a couple hits and I'll put it away. But I haven't had to do that in such a long time, and the energy's there. The feelings that were felt, it was necessary for me to feel them. And the greatest way, or at least what I've come to realize, is the greatest expression, or at least release of emotion for me as an individual, is through my creativity. This is where I let it all out. Sometimes they say you make the best music when you get your heart broken. But the cool part about that is when your heart's broken, your heart's open, and you let it all come out. And once again, this is where the alchemy takes place, the transmutation and harnessing the creativity. But this is an aspect of awakening when you know what to do with this energy. Not necessarily a force, it's a power, it's an energy that comes through, and it acts as a catalyst to drive you into doing something. Your spiritual maturity is in making a decision to be constructive, to do that, or at least invest that energy back into your convictions, your goals and your ambitions, the things that you drive to do, to be of service. This is how I've been able to take this energy and reinvest it and come up with just the most amazing work ever. And it only drives me to do more, to grind harder. They say when it gets dark and they start throwing shade, you don't run, you shine brighter. You shine brighter every time. And this is how it works. It's a flip. We take that energy and we transmute it through alchemy, of course, through magicians, and then we allow it to express into even more potent aspects of what we're here to do. And we revive and we're reborn into deeper expressions of the beingness and the glory that we are. So this is a lot of times how I deal or how I work with my vulnerability, I let it hang all out because I'm just confident by nature. And of course, I've been working on this a very long time and being confident. However, amongst a lot of the things that I've experienced on this path, it's always been back me in a corner, and I'm coming out creative. I'm coming out more creative every time. You can push me in whatever corner you want. And of course, these are the things that I've created to assist myself in healing and building and becoming more stable and more open and defenseless. However, of course, that defenselessness is an aspect of my courage and just being able to love and continue to serve and knowing beyond all doubt what I'm here to do and what I stand for. And once again, vulnerability I see is the tool of the hero. It's the knight in shining armor, the diamond sword, if you will, of knowing. You see the difference in between a person who has self-esteem or a wholehearted person and those who experience this courageous lifestyle or intuitive lifestyle is but this. One believes that they deserve to be loved and that they're worthy. And this is the reality of those still operating from the mind identity, because they believe that they deserve love and they're worthy of the love that life has to offer, and that they're here to experience. And of course, once again, belief is but an expression of doubt. Those who are wholehearted and live within the heart space or from the heart space, they know that they deserve the love. They know that they're worthy of the love that they're here to experience. They know and are aware of who they are as the creator. And in turn, based on that reality, that is what they experience because of their knowingness of the love that they are here to experience, which is but their own creation. So awareness plays a great part in the ability to wholesomely embrace vulnerability from a healthy sense of being. It's knowing. What's good, Tim? You want to share an experience with everybody, man? When it comes to vulnerability?
Vulnerability. I'm very vulnerable. Optimistic makes me vulnerable. I just believe in the good in so many people in so many situations. This right here makes me vulnerable. Even if you have done me wrong, I will still be optimistic about you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, of course, it is my situation as well, even though I didn't do myself wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So there has to be something there. But I think that was like more in the past. Now it's like I understand it, I understand it very clearly that it's okay to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be open. It's okay, I guess, basically because I understand the process. I don't know if you can even say that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the process.
Mm-hmm.
I know that something is probably happening for a certain reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know the outcome is going to be positive. So I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it might not seem like it. I'm just too optimistic to be okay about it. I mean, I've been in many situations. We both probably been in situations, and probably still are, to be very vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
But we're okay with it.
Yeah, of course.
And it always plays out.
It always works out
exactly how it's supposed to, because we're not putting no fear into it.
We're not investing energy into it.
And just like how you said, we transfer that energy. I was telling my mother, actually, it's a few days ago. She's saying all these people used to do this stuff to her and say this to her, and she's fighting it. She's fighting it. It's like, why you fighting? Stop blocking. Because all you're doing is applying force to force. Yeah, if you take this in a taekwondo or jiu-jitsu type of format, you take that energy against these people trying to attack you, you flip it into something positive, how you want to flip it. It's you. But, you can't do that if you don't make yourself vulnerable. You're going to fight. And we understand the essence of not having to fight right now. It's not necessary. This happens, that happens, this, that happens. You don't have to fight. Be vulnerable, because if you come at it from the right heart, you're going to get all the reactions and all the solutions are going to lay itself out exactly how it needs to.
Absolutely. Because that's where the intelligence comes in your ability to accept your experience for what it is. When you accept, this is where the magic happens. And this is where we work with life itself. This is where we harness infinite intelligence through the ability to accept what is taking place.
Basically, you're accepting you. You're accepting your
reality. You're accepting your creation.
At that moment, when you fight it, it's like, nah, this ain't happening to me. Nah, I can't believe it. Yeah, it is happening. Just accept it.
Take your lick.
Take your lick. But know why you probably have it.
Absolutely.
Or even if you don't know why it's going to happen, just be optimistic and be vulnerable. I mean, if you're doing the right thing, which most likely you probably are, it's going to turn out right.
Absolutely.
It's in your favor. It's your life.
Absolutely. Great expression, man. So, Todd, once again, thank you for sharing your story. I hope everybody enjoying themselves here in our discussion today. Of course, our topic is vulnerability. This is the Let's Build. Every other Thursday now. We missed last week, but we're back again this Thursday. Let's see. I'm gonna find the playlist again. Actually, go ahead, Todd, if you will. Can you put on "Soak It Up"? That'd be cool. I think that was in the playlist.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm being vulnerable. That's why.
She fine. Well, I said, hey, your man is bona fide. Ain't he go? That's how we go. You like that? Order, it's not.
I'm around here swimming, talking down. Hashtag dripping, bitch, the sloppy Joe. Go back to bed, on the flow, go. Chocolate juice on me, I can't get it off. When it down, baby, God, get it. Red roasted, with a shrimp. Surf and turf, right away outside the word. Have a merge, in the water's hard. letting everything go, go. Let's go. We can turn it up a notch and make the horrible dance. Y'all try to sleep in on that love chick, hug chick, everyday new-ish, crew-ish, on the move. Get down with the get down. Sit down with a click now. You can see riding high and I love Ashtar. All the way to the line. Don't make me mention the ride. 37 stairs to the inner sky. That inner eye. Pretty boys don't make fun. Some new stuff right now. Trying to have a new age right now. Pretty boy swag. You see the house. It's the dawn of a new era. Yeah.
What do we owe this pleasure?
I just got one thing to lay on you cats and now split. That I'm declaring war on anybody who still struts in our community. I'm gonna take it like this.
This is another song? What song is?
I never heard the extended version.
My people catch you. Good evening, gentlemen.
Here we go. Here we go.
You are now listening to
Waffle cone, double soft school, cream tea, chunky fly jewels. Good guy with the right games out of left field with my light shoes. Show that you're cool with a light blue. Full of geek and my molecules. Boy, I hit the block already. Let the buffons with my bad bones move. Under the summer to fun. On you want for no sums. On my gums over drums. On my gums so thug. Juicy from rubber is love. I'm floating but there is us. You know, baby, come give me hugs. All I can love. I know what that is. You hiding them fish out there. My tongue, you must try. Are you gonna write for die? Baby, with that boy, you say I'm not like it's the
I gotta go back and check it. Vulnerability.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us here at The Let's Build. That was a track with Soak It Up featuring, of course, Vell and Amon Ra and another one of our sisters, Jess for holding it down for this last summer. And big shout out to her if she's in the building tonight. However, we are having a great time. Of course, our subject matter is vulnerability this evening. We did our first portion of seminar aspect, just kind of highlighting some of the aspects of vulnerability when it comes to our awakening in spiritual terms, if you will. And then we went over some small stories sharing. Todd shared a lot. I shared a lot. Amun shared a lot about the experience. And for the most part, it is a matter of us being open to what we've presented and created for ourselves as catalysts of our own expansion. Of course, we continue to expand. It's constant. The work is still there and we're doing it. Of course, our ability to feel and be open to the work is where the work is being done. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's in your ability to be open and accept that which is taking place before you, knowing that it is for your benefit. It is for you. Everything that's being presented is assisting you to feel more. And of course, as you feel more, you have the capacity to love more. So this is the portion where we address any inquiries we may have in our comment section. And of course, if there's any stories that you all would like to share at this time, we can address those as well, or at least share them with the community as well. I don't necessarily, let me see if I have access to our comments here. And there's a lot of them. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to access them directly, T.
I can access them if they put up a comment, or if they have something, I can access it.
Yeah, easy enough. So we'll put it like this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any comments or anything you would like to ask and put out into the ethers for us to address in this now moment, you're welcome to do so now. This is the portion where we address anything that is being presented for transportation. Of course, any stories that you have to share about your own path, vulnerability, we can share them with the community at present, and keep it moving. One thing I did want to express, I didn't get to necessarily express in the seminar portion itself, is how vulnerability has been suppressed, especially when it comes to men. And a lot of the aspects of attraction, and when it comes to relationships, because once again, we're welcoming in a lot of energy. And of course, as awakening souls, we're on the path of embracing a sense of androgynous energy within ourselves, where, of course, we're the balance of both divine masculine and feminine energy. And the divine masculine, of course, this patriarchal society has condemned a lot of the aspects of the divine masculine that is natural. But of course, with our awakening, it is necessary for us to start to heal some of these things. I'll get you to in just a sec, Debbie. I'll remember your question. When we attempt to protect ourselves, in essence, through ignoring or not allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, when we put up these walls, we close our heart off from feeling. Here in this society, within this construct, men have been taught, programmed socially to not embrace their feelings. And we put up a lot of walls, and a lot of times it has a lot to do with this false sense of masculinity and independence and not wanting to be open. And there's so much of it. It's obvious, especially when it comes to being vulnerable and being open. The archetypal male here within the illusion attempts to act as if they're untouchable, especially when it comes to feelings. Oh, don't cry, and you're supposed to be strong, and fight through it, push back. There's a lot of this forceful energy that is attempting to suppress that which is taking place inside of the individual. A lot of these walls come in the form of just resentment and resistance to life itself, to one's feelings. A perfect example, a soul will take a picture where they're holding up middle fingers to the world, right? This is a wall. This is a pushback saying, well, I don't want to feel, and screw you guys and screw everybody because I've been hurt and I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to experience feelings because I've been hurt so much in my life where my attitude is just quit. I quit. I don't want to love. I just, I don't want to participate. So screw the world and screw feelings and screw emotions and screw everybody. And I mean, once again, this is a disguise. Anger is but a disguise of fear. It's a disguise for one's fear. In essence, when a man connects with a woman, if the male intends to hold on to these blockages, this guard, this wall, what they're saying in essence is, I'm not going to give you access to my heart. I'm not going to give you access to me. And in a way that translates into, I won't accept what you have to offer. The feminine energy, the nurturing, and the care, the love and respect that a partner intends to share with us. The nature of a relationship, of course, is you're there to give, and you're there to give to each other. When one has a block, they're not open to even receiving. However, being open to being loved and nurtured and respected and championed as a male, or vice versa, just as a being, period. It's only accessed through our ability to be vulnerable. These qualities. Through embracing these qualities, we are allowing life experience, our reflections, to love us, to provide us with the inspiration and encouragement and the support that is required on the path that we set up for ourselves. There's a difference between this and need. When a person is dependent and saying, well, hey, I need you to do this. I need you for this. I'm dependent on you for that solely. This is, once again, that dependency. It's not a role that we really want to embrace. However, intuitively, we recognize that encoded within our experience, we're being provided the assistance and support energetically, emotionally, physically that we need on all spectrums. And of course, it is wise to be open to what we created for ourselves. And this support network, the people that we resonate with and that come into our lives in these spaces, they're there by our own creation. They're there for us. And of course, if we, with the ego and being afraid, attempt to block the love and these feelings and these connections from coming in, we hinder ourselves from doing what we're here to do, from carrying out and experiencing the glory and the blessings that we're here to experience. Yes, taking a risk amongst our experience, for the most part, people are scared because they have experience where them going out on a limb and taking the risk to love and to allow and to be open, things have, metaphorically blown up in their face. But is it worth it to continue to protect yourself just to be secure and not experience the love that you're here to experience? The life of love that you're here to experience, a loveless life, because you don't want to be hurt again. Is it really worth it to be secure than not to experience the love that you're here to experience? Divine masculinity is about being comfortable, about being confident, and loving men. Of course, courage is the cornerstone of confidence. Courage is, as we've recognized, the ability to operate from one's heart and allow and embrace one's beingness from a place of authenticity from the heart. So this is necessary it's necessary to be vulnerable, to be confident, to be comfortable with oneself, to be accepting, that compassion that we talked about before. These are all aspects of this energy that we speak of. So for all the gentlemen, as you continue to evolve and expand, it's necessary to recognize that we all have feelings. And it takes courage to allow yourself to feel. Regardless of what Arnold Schwarzenegger doing on a movie and, all of these, just as a metaphor, these other images of masculinity that we've been programmed to embrace. Know that you embracing your truth and being yourself is the most courageous thing you could possibly do. And for the most part, very rare. And this is where you recognize leaders. So Debbie spoke of being in the heart when you're angry, returning to the heart space. How do you stay in the heart space when you're angry? Great question. This is the nature of our talk today. Compassion and being gentle with yourself. It's a process, Deb. Sometimes we're going to get angry. It's a process. We have, once again, the capacity of compassion we have for ourselves allows us to be angry when we're angry. This is an aspect of being vulnerable. Sometimes you're going to get angry. It happens. There's no magic trick or divine philosophy to stop the anger. It's like trying not to think. It's not about trying not to think. It's about allowing yourself to think, where eventually, as you allow yourself to think and allow the water to flow, the intentions naturally slow down the flow of water through your ability to accept how you feel, to be open to how you feel. The vulnerability aspect comes in again, the ability to be open to what's taking place internally and externally. It is in your ability to allow and accept how you feel that allows you to return to the heart space. When you accept the anger, and if you need to, express yourself based on your capacity to heal and return to a sense of calm, allow that energy to come through you, if that's what you want to do. Some choose to embrace other constructive methods like their creativity and some of their work. Some choose to start writing and expressing themselves via text or whatever the case may be. But whatever avenue you choose to invest that energy into, it's necessary to allow that energy to come out. Because when you allow it to come out, you allow yourself to eventually calm down and return to the heart space. And you only get better. It gets easier and easier as you continue to do it. It's just a matter of practice. That's why this healing path is a process, and the process has to take place. It's not a snap of a finger, day and night kind of thing. Things are going to make you angry. Things are going to make you jealous. You're going to experience times where you're lonely or sad or whatever the case may be. Embrace it. Allow yourself to feel, because you allow the experience to flow through you. And as you allow these experiences to flow through you, the more centered you are able to remain amongst the turbulence. As you allow it to flow through you, the more you're able to continue to return to your center, where you're just there. And you're able to witness it without becoming too flustered, and allowing it to shake you to the core each and every time. Celia said, release it, don't keep it. It's perfect. Release it, let it go, allow it to come. If it needs to come out in a way that you deem fit in that particular moment, this is where you are and you're on your path. And of course, compassion and unconditional love is about accepting where you are on your path. At one point in your path, something may have made you angry and you decided to cuss the person out or do something to express your hurt. That's where you were in your path. Later on in your path, you may have been in a place where you didn't necessarily cuss the person out directly, but you chose a more passive aggressive method in allowing the energy to come out. And this is where you are in your path. You accept that aspect of where you were in your path for that moment. But eventually, as you continue to do that, it will become more and more gentle, more and more subtle, until finally you are able to transmute that energy and use it in a way that is beneficial, more compassionate and helpful to all life. This is how that works. It's a continuous process. Self-control, correct. Do we have any more inquiries? Yes, holding on to those vibes does have an effect on the physiology. It can cause manifestations of distortions within the physical body. So the best thing we can do is allow it to come out versus attempting to suppress it. This is the superficial attempting to be positive all the time thing that we talked about before in a couple of bills before. Pretend positivity never works. Oh, I'm positive, I'm so happy, and nothing ever bothers me, and I don't fear anything. I've already healed from this, and I'm here from that, and I don't fear anything anymore, and it's all butterflies and rainbows. But once again, that's not how this process works. It takes courage to embrace where we are and accept where we are without any expectations of what we're experiencing. So T, it's 11:55 p.m. here. I have Mel in the United Arab Emirates. She's 2 hours ahead of us, so it's about 2 in the morning there. Let's do it like this. We play one more song, and if we don't get any more inquiries, we'll go ahead and shut it down. We started a couple hours late. I'll take responsibility for that, but it's all good. We'll keep it moving. So I'll let you pick your song tonight, man.
We got Open Tears and no fighting. Which one do you want?
Let's do Open Tears. I haven't heard that in a minute.
Yo, what I read, one step at a time, G. Welcome to spring, y'all. We're in the valley. Yo. Just gotta keep rolling. Look. Hey. Nah. stepping. Love. Yo. Man. Steady dissolving the discrepancies of all our mental imagery, repeating and repeating. I'm working on my liberty, checking with the pendulum, engaging my trajectory, grounded in the valley, seeing past this activity. Yo, we letting it go and seeing our dreams, just letting it flow like the intuition, open hearted souls who listen amongst the many within self-made prisons. Dissatisfaction got them judging how I move, steady bounce the groove. Yo, love and self and gratitude, seeing divine precision in the present collective, ripping the party ends. Slide through the portals often, on some time your heart and awesome sunshine, and even at the rhythm of Olympics. Yeah. Vintage with persistence, pimping, doing it for my ancient lineage, dripping the sword of compassion. I'm seeing the blessed connections, cause we be family, so walk and breathe within the heavenly fabric, all is well indeed. Losing knees, beefs, griefs, and suffering, and almost sucker streams of bad advice from the voices in your head, yo. Tell that ego go to bed, man. It's lame. Yeah.
Let go of your worries, let go of your cares, open your hearts and breathe in all the love that is waiting to pour into your lives. Never have you been without love, never have you been without help. That was only an illusion. Even now, as we speak, angels stand waiting to assist you, waiting to awaken the love of the Creator within you, to help you feel your connection with life and love itself. For in that space, all good things can flow into all areas of your life. You are not on earth to make money, although we celebrate money made with love. You are not on earth to find the perfect partner, although we celebrate loving partnership. You are not on earth to build bridges, start centers, or heal anyone else, although these are beautiful and necessary endeavors that certainly serve as vehicles for the one and only true purpose of being on earth itself. You are here to remember and re-experience your connection with love, the love that creates you, the love that breathes life into you, the love that has never abandoned you, never seen you as anything less than beautiful, perfect, whole, and holy. This love of the divine knows who you really are. We, the angels, know who you really are. Love, divine love wants so very much to love you. God bless you. We love you so very much. The angels.
Thank you once again. Another beautiful Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, here at the Let's Build. Of course, our subject matter today was vulnerability. Amazing topic. We've shared much experience, many beautiful stories, many downloads of experience here for all to embrace and witness. Thank you all for being here. Continue to shine your light. And once again, vulnerability is about showing up. It's about being open. The gratitude, not necessarily from ego or from a place of arrogance, but from a place of gratitude. We live, we love, we shine. We are ourselves. We are here to do this. We are here to love in the way that we love individually. Every day. Every day. Be open to feel. Be open to be born anew. Be open to die. Be open to hurt. Be open to love more. This is where we allow ourselves the blessings that we are here to experience on earth. Gratitude always to Soulogy Studios. Gratitude always to Melissa out in United Arab Emirates. Big shout out to the guy Amon Ra here at the Ra, reporting live from Wiesbaden, Germany. Thank you all for continuing to shine the light, love, and doing the work that is unfolding heaven on earth here in this now moment. And who we are of the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light, and who I am as your commander, Ashtar. We bid you farewell. Until next time, much love, light, unity, peace, gratitude always. Cheers.